Okay, Shalom, Shalom, it's the brother Kadash. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and honors to all the brothers in this truth. I don't know if you can see this on your screen, so I'm going to read through it. It's a lot, so I'm not going to be able to get through all of it, but you're going to pretty much get the point. And it says 50 brands that may be closing their doors in 2021. So it's talking about stores that are already closed. This is an article that I found. A guy named you so and so made it, but it just goes more into it just to show you how everything's been affecting, how we're getting closer to the end days and how everything's been affecting and what's been the cause behind this to show you that things will never go back to normal. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to read through it. It's a lot though, because it actually goes through 50 brands. I'm not going to get through all of them, but I'm going to read some of them. It says here, let's see. Scroll through the gallery. Circuit City, you know, going out of business. So this is an actual picture with Circuit City, and you can see that they have a sign saying going out of business. Let me read something about them. It says, what did it say about Circuit City? I can't even find what it says. It just got a picture of them. But right here it says 24-hour fitness. It says many of the famous 24-hour fitness branches in the U.S. have been closed temporarily, right? And we know that this thing ain't gonna never really go away. There's different mutations and stuff like that. So if they're closed temporarily, they're gonna stay closed. It says, however, the chain also filed for bankruptcy. See, this was all the plan to get these stores out of business. Why? Because they go into their new world system where you're gonna have to come to the government for everything, man. You're gonna have to be completely dependent, and when they get you dependent, then guess what? They could control you. It says now over 130 branches that will be permanently closed. So there go 130 24-hour fitness. That's as of right now. It could even grow and get even worse. This says American Eagle outfitters. So we people used to wear this in high school. All the Edomites would start wearing it, and then you had the Israelites. They would start wearing it too. A certain school so they could get with these Edomite women and stuff like that. American Eagle. I remember this. It says it's one of the most recognized clothing brand across the U.S. They are not going out of business, but up to 50 stores are said to be closing permanently this year. So they got to close 50 stores. And a lot of these malls are going to be shutting down too. And a lot of these stores, because this is a store that you find in the mall. So we going to see unless they are able to get online. Um, let's see another one. It keeps going to the GameStop, right? Because now these days you don't need to go get an actual disc. You just download the game and pay for it on your game console, on your game system. So you don't need a physical disc. Everything is going digital and online. So just like Family Video was closing all their stores, they're remaining all their stores. A lot of places that has this old technology are kind of going out of business too. It says so far it's been recorded that about 300 GameStop stores are closing this year, right? However, there are reports that it will most likely be going over the 400 mark. They said that there's 5,000 that remain, but we gonna see how hard it gets and how many more have to close down. And they're gonna be liquidating too, so they probably gonna be selling all their stuff for very cheap. So if you really like to play these games and stuff like that, you might be able to get in there and get some really good deals. Yeah, Bed Bath and Beyond. All these stores are stores that be in the mall. It says over 60 stores were said to be closing in 2020, right? And then later in July, the retailer stated that it was actually going to be over 200 stores. See, so they say 60 or give you a number, but then when they go back to the drawing board to calculate, they got to come up and say, no, it's more than that. It's 10 times more. You see what I'm saying? So because things are getting hard, and this is what was planned. This is all planned. AT&T. It seems AT&T has closed over 300 retail stores in the months of November and December. In 2 months, they closed over 300 of their stores. Right? They're gonna try to keep the big stores that's really profitable, and big cities and stuff like that. But they closing down all the small stuff. Apparently, the plan is to solely be more profitable to shareholders and fund managers. So they going pretty much Everything's digital. They gonna be selling stocks and stuff like that. That's where they putting their priorities at now. Let's see. It's AT&T's outside of the country too. H&M. So everybody be has bought some H&M at some time probably, in this day and age, the young people at least, right? So it says the fashion chain with 5,000 stores worldwide. Yeah, because they stores be where? In the mall. But it says it's set to be closing between 170 to 250 stores worldwide by the end of 2020. So we in the beginning of 2021. So these is things that's already been happening, that's already been in play, and that number could possibly grow. It's a possibility. Um, with everything that's going on, you got Gap. They looking to close 220 stores. 100 Banana Republican stores. The girls love the Banana Republican stores by 2024. I mean, let's scroll through it. We'll go through it kind of fast. Forever 21, the women love that store because that's where you get all the cheap stuff at. But they got some good stuff too. How many stores they're planning on closing? Over 350 stores have closed since 2019. Dang, they trying to go digital. J.C. Penney's. This is just showing you like the things that we saying in the scriptures, the prophecies in the scriptures aren't just sayings. These aren't just myths. These aren't just fables. This is real life. Because look, I'm showing you how it's really affecting in real life. How the prophecies in the Bible are being fulfilled in real life. Look at all these stores closing. Which one is this? This is J.C. Penney. Are seeking to close over 200 stores. Walgreens. It's kind of getting frozen. Oh man, you got Walgreens closing stores. You got Macy's. I did a video on Macy's. Said they were closing all they smaller stores and only keeping they bigger stores in stuff like the Lenox Mall, the Galleria in St. Louis, Lenox Mall in Atlanta. They gonna keep they big stores, but they planning on closing they small stores. They said 30 stores in 19. But closing about 125 stores in total within the next 3 years. Nike. I mean, all right, I'm gonna scroll through here and just get some names. Another girl store. Office Depot. Here, let's see what else we could get. That's probably gonna be the last one. But as you see, all these stores are closing, right? Some stores got 200 stores, 150, 350, 450 stores closing. So what does this mean? Well, this means that they got to lay off all their workers. So for every store, you might have 10 to 20 workers in every store. If you got thousands combined with thousands of stores with all these different companies closing down their stores, man, you got probably hundreds of thousands of employees being laid off, going on unemployment. So this has all been a plan. Let's get it from the Bible. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12. I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh. Right? When thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Yeah, people ain't gonna have no pleasure in these times that we're living in because everybody's gonna be unemployed and have to depend on the government. So you gotta remember the creator, you gotta remember the Lord. Here, let me jump real quick before I move on to the rest of that. Let me jump to Zephaniah chapter 2 to get a precept on that. Gather yourself together, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, right? What is the decree? Before the day pass of the chef, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you. Before the day of the Lord anger come upon you. Seek ye the Lord. Same thing that is said in Ecclesiastes 12 verse 1. Seek ye the Lord. All ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment, seek righteousness, seek meekness, and it may be ye should be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. So we want to be hid. We want to be exempt. Back in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 2. While the sun and the light and the moon and the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, which it says same thing, and it's saying the same thing as Zephaniah chapter 2. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house should tremble. So the keepers of the house, the ones that's running this, they trembling because they see it all coming down. And the strong man, then they're trying to do different things and implement different strategies. What was the word? Order out of chaos. So all hell breaking loose, but then they're trying to move to their new world system. So they're trying to use the destruction that's coming down in order to move to their new world systems. You see, um, it says, "And a strong man shall bow themselves, and a grinder cease." What is the grinders? The workers. The workers cease. Why? Because all the stores are going out of business, shutting down. Everybody's on lockdown. You see, because they are few. Why are they few? Because everything's closing down. So look, I'm showing you in the Bible, and I'm relating it to real life. That's how you know we got the truth, man. Because it makes sense. It adds up. You know, saying that the mark of the beast is sin, that don't make sense. That don't add up. Which all this is adding up to the mark of the beast. Because everything, like I said, everybody's going online. All these stores is closed for physical stores and then going online. Everything's going digital. What do you think the chip is going to be used for? It's going to be used for digital. All your stuff is going to be on the chip, which is digital. The chip is physical, that's going to be in your hand, but the information on the chip is all going to be connected to the new system, digital. For you to get that information off the chip, you're going to need to use electronics, which hook up to what? The digital system. It says, because they are few, and those that look out the window be darkened, because you're not looking at a future. You're not looking at, dang, where I'm going to be at 10 years down the road. I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. Because it's looking dark. It's looking very dark right now, as you see. For all these stores, they're losing profits that they have to close down their branches. Why? Because it's looking darkened for them. And the doors should be shut in the streets, right? When the sound of the grinding is low, the stores are going to be shut in the streets. When the sound of the grinding is low, because it's not that much workers out there. Why? Because all the stores are closed. And look, this is the truth. And the bird and all the daughters of music should be brought low. I mean, what else can you say? Well, this is what we can say right here. Jump to verse 13 in Ecclesiastes 12. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That's what we have to do. We have to fear the Lord and keep his commandments, because all hell about to break loose. And just like in the beginning of chapter 12 and in Zephaniah 2, you want to be hid when that destruction come, because we see it coming. You see it coming. Hey, what was that scripture that we just had? Oh yeah, I think it was Luke 12 here. Like I said we see the destruction coming, right? This is Luke 12 verse 54. And he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower. And so it is. So you could see that it's about to rain because you see the clouds up there. Just like during this time, we could see that all hell about to break loose. Remember that destruction is going to come. So just like in Zephaniah chapter 2 and Ecclesiastes chapter 12, we see these things coming by what? We see these stores being on lockdown and shutting down these stores and losing business, and workers being unemployed and have to stay home on lockdown. We see these things. Verse 55, and when ye see the soft wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Right. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? So how do you not discern the time? That's perfect, man. That's perfect. And that comes from studying. You got to study this Bible in order to know these things and connect these dots. So we see we could discern the time, just like we could discern that it's about to rain. It's about to rain spiritually. All hell about to break loose. So I'm gonna leave it there and say salvation to the elect. Shalom.